Thank you, Brad. First of all, I would just start off thanking AQHA for asking me to do this. I love the trails. This is super fun. And then I want to thank my rider, Miss Carly Parks, who's your reigning 2024 World Champion Senior Trail. So we're super lucky to have a super badass rider today for this. Okay, I'm going to talk through a couple things while she's still warming up. If you all have your patterns in front of you, you'll see that there's a few places where there's stride rules. So I'm going to point that out before she rides the pattern, and we're going to start with the small fry. And if you look at your pattern on number 4, I've got my handy little laser here. Right here, this is a stride rule. So that's going to be 2 steps. If you put more or less, hopefully you wouldn't put less, more or less, you're going to get a penalty. So just be aware of that. And also on number 7. So some of this is going to look a little different to y'all, which, because we're going to go through the small fry first. There's a few more pulls in than you'll notice you'll have in your small fry pattern, but there's also going to be a stride rule right here. So anytime there's the straight pulls, it's a 2 stride rule. So it's 2 steps, and you're also going to have the stride rule here. It's on your pattern, so just be aware of that so we don't get any extra penalties.
Will you announce to them that this will close at 5 a.m. to get ready?
Yes. So this is going to be open all night
until 5 a.m.
and then it will close at 5 a.m. for them to reset. So y'all will be able to practice on here until 5 a.m. in the morning. Okay. You ready? Yeah. So we're going to have Carly go ahead and ride through the small fry pattern, and I'll just talk to you while she's going through. The biggest thing is you want to make sure that you're up at this gate at your entry. They'll probably have some kind of cone set for y'all tomorrow. Try and make sure you're up there and ready to go. The judges love to see when you're prompt and on time. And I'll kind of walk through this real quick before she comes over, but in the walk trot, you're going to trot in here, single stride in this first one. You're going to turn the corner to the left in the chute, and it says stop or break to the walk. Either way is perfect. I love to stop so I can take a breath. And then you're going to walk over these 3 pulls right here. After that, make sure you really are nice and quiet walking. Yeah. You want to think about when you walk up to that gate, because that's a pretty good distance of walking. We don't want to have any break a gate there, so make sure you walk up to the gate. So you're trotting there, single stride, trotting around the corner, stop or break to the walk. Then you're going to walk over these pulls. And you're going to walk up to a right-hand gate. Now, it does say in the small fry that we're not going to, small fries will have an open gate. So they'll probably hang the gate up on the standard, and you're just going to walk up and walk through. That's going to be your choice of whether you actually walk up and back up through it, or you just walk through the gate, because there's not going to be a rope. So whichever way works better for you. Okay, now it says you can walk forward or you can immediately pick up your trot. Again, that's your choice. You're going to pick up your jog and you're going to jog. All these, well, there's only going to be 3 for the walk trot, in the yellow and the green. So you'll jog, there's your mandatory stride rule, and now you're going to break to a walk. And there's only going to be 3 pulls here for you. And you're going to walk around this arc. When the pulls are set at an angle like that, there is no stride rule. You would like to put 2 steps into each one, but there's no stride rule. So whatever works for you is fine. You're going to pick up your jog again. You're going to have 3 pulls here for the small fry. You're going to jog around. Ideally, 4 steps in each gap. And then you're going to continue jogging. Here's where you're going to have your mandatory stride rule. 1, 2, 1, 2. And you're only going to have 3 pulls there. Now you're going to trot into your chute. And then once you get in your chute, you're going to stop. You're going to back into the box. And then when you are in the box, you can execute a 360 either way.
What a start.
Perfect.
Right about where you are.
Okay, perfect. Yep. Once you execute the turn in the box, you're going to walk forward over the pole. And then you're going to pick up your jog again. And this is where you're going to really want to think about your space, use your corner. Try not to just dive in there and set yourself up for a nice straight line. You're only going to have 4 pulls there, but this is a mandatory stride rule. So it's 2 steps in between each one. And this is, you're going to come over here, you're going to go across the middle. And then the pull over against the wall is not going to be there. So you're going to trot over 3 pulls in this sequence. And then once you're trotting this way, you're going to trot in here and stop or break to the walk again. And you're going to have only 2 pulls there, but it is a stride rule. 2 strides out, and you're finished with your pattern. So that's for your small fry pattern. Okay. On your rookie, amateur, the rookie youth, and the level 1, 13 and under. The rookie one? Okay. And let's start at this start code so they know. Okay, so they put a start code out here for us so that you know it is in your best interest to be at the start cone and ready when the judges are ready for you. So make sure you're not moseying up from the entrance gate, that you're standing here waiting at the cone. And so for the rookie, we're going to go ahead on the same path. We're going to trot in, and you're going to single stride around these first 3 poles, into the chute and turn to the left, and then you can stop or break to the walk. And again, when you're coming over those walk poles, just remember that you're walking up to that gate. There's a lot of energy when you're starting your pattern. So I would suggest you just kind of take a breath so that you don't break gate going into that gate. And now for obviously everything else is going to have the rope gate. So you're going to work the gate. And then you can either walk forward a step or you can immediately lope off. And you're going to pick up your right lead. You're going to lope the green and yellows. And for the rookies, you're only going to have 3 pulls there. Then you're going to break to a trot. And again, you're just going to have 3 pulls. And there's where your mandatory stride rule is on your trot. There is a 2-step in between there. Now we pick up our right lead again. You're going to have 3 pulls, so you're going to have a 2-stride and a 2-stride, just like she's doing right now. You won't have the first and last pull. Now we're going to break to a trot. Over here again, mandatory stride rule, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you will only have 3 pulls down there. And then we're trotting into the chute. And then we're going to sit back into that box again, turn either way. Now you're going to walk forward over the pole, and then when you're over this pole, you're going to pick up your left lead. So again, make sure you're going to use your space. You're going to lope there. You're only going to have 4 pulls. Now breaking to the trot. The pole farthest over there against the wall is going to be gone, so you're going to trot first pole. This is going to be pole number 2. Trotting over pole number 3, and then there's the one in front of her is going to be out. So you're going to go through the gap there, turn right, trot over that pole into the gap and stop. And you're also only going to have 2 poles for your walkout. Mandatory stride rule, 2 steps. And then you would be finished. Okay, now we're going to wear Carly out and do it one more time. Now all of these poles that you see are going to be in for the level 1 youth, 14 to 18. Yep. Level 1 amateur and the level 1 select. So we're going to do it one more time just to make sure y'all are on board. Again, start at the start cone. You're going to have all of these poles in for those 3 patterns. It looks great. Carly's riding her junior horse, which is being fantastic in this arena because it is a very big, scary arena. So remember tomorrow when you show,
I'm hanging out.
take a breath. This arena is a lot to take in, so keep your energy low so your horses keep their energy low. All right, starting at that start cone, we're going to trot. Single strides here. And stopping. You can stop or break to the walk, like I said before. I would suggest stopping because it gives you a second that you get to breathe before you walk over the poles. And then you're going to walk up to that gate. I'm pretty sure there's not a pole in any of the gates. One of the things you can notice when Carly's going through here, obviously she kind of does good at the trail sometimes. She's super quiet and she stays really quiet even when things aren't exactly perfect. So remember that tomorrow. It's a whole pattern. There's lots of obstacles to be judged. So when you're out there, just take a breath and do it one piece at a time. You're picking up your right lead here. So single strides there all the way around. Now you're breaking to the trot. This is bending, so ideally you want 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2 out. There is the stride rule on the middle 2 poles. Now we're picking up our lope here. We're going to have a single into a double stride, single, and out. Now we're going to break to the trot. And over here, we've got a mandatory stride rule in all of them. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and out. Now we're backing into that box. And we're going to do a turn either way. And then we're walking out, and we're going to pick up the left lead and lope the orange and blacks. So your orange and black is a big line. So when you're loping through there, just you want to stay back and stay soft because your trot transition is going to come up on you there. So it's single stride all the way through. Now we're going to break to the trot. And then you're going to go middle pull. And on there, these, you're going to, whatever works for you to get around this obstacle, ideally you want to hit if you hit in the middle going around there, but whatever works for your horse best is what you need to do. Then you're going to stop right there. Now you do have all the poles on the way out, so it's mandatory two stride, and then you're done. All right. Is there any questions from anybody? All right, I think that's it.
All good?
All good. All right, good luck, everybody, tomorrow.